This is Joaquin Xavier from the Voice Party Podcast. This episode has been brought to you by All Roads Overhead Garage Doors. Call now, 510-375-8756. That's 510-375-8756. Get your garage door today.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, let me put on my seatbelt first.
Oh, yeah, put on your seatbelt.
Oh, shoot. You only got one mic, huh?
Welcome, everybody, to the Voice Party. We just got done. Oh, yeah. Are you done talking? My bad. It's okay. We just got done watching Star Wars, and before we get to that, we're really busy talking about Phil's photo face. Just so you guys know, I know we have to address this on the podcast. That's just his normal face. He everyone has a photo face, you know. Some people.
That is racism, okay? Y'all don't understand the photo face. You think it's a white people thing. That's racism, okay? We need to abolish this. That's what Jesse Jackson was talking about with all the racism.
You know, Kylo Ren has a weird face. So let's just announce it like we'll make it about the movie.
Look, you know that face? You know that you know your mom goes, hey, don't make that face. It'll get stuck that way. That's basically what that is that you're looking at when you see the photo face. That's the thing your mom warned you against. Cut that shit out. Apparently, I'm also from Brooklyn. All right.
He's like a lost Wu-Tang Clan member. Joaquin looks like one of the Wu-Tang members that died before they made it big. And they just never announced, they never talked about him. Anyways. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice Party. We just got done watching Star Wars.
Star Wars, Here Comes the Skywalker.
Here Comes the Skywalkers. One more time. Now, good film. There's a lot to. First of all, we watched it in the theater with really comfortable seats. Some of us didn't make it all the way through.
We have a special.
Some of us didn't make us all the way through, man.
We have a special guest tonight.
Great.
Shoot.
Oh, my bad. Alright.
Announce a special.
Mike didn't come apart.
We got a special guest tonight. We are this is Joaquin Xavier, by the way. We are joined by the one, the only Evan L.G. Francis, Mr. Go to Work.
Oh yeah, we over here, man. You know I had to come with the brothers tonight. But man, them seats, let me tell you, like, well, I can review. Huh? Century? Okay.
Where are we at again?
Pleasant Hill. Them seats, man, them some kick ass. They suck your ass in, bro, as soon as you kick up. But from what, like, everything that I was able to just see, from what I saw, it was good. You feel what I'm saying? This shit was off the hook, bro. Especially, like, for real, like, and then you know what? Palpatine, for them to bring back Palpatine for this one, I think it was a fitting, like, conclusion for the series, you know what I mean? If you're like, a fan of Star Wars lore, then you kind of already seen it, like, come full circle, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was good. Last Jedi, I wasn't really impressed with, right? But then this one, like I said, from what I seen with them damn seats, this one, like, brought it together pretty good. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Those two scenes were excellent, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
I mean, what? Hey, you know, when I was in Washington, D.C., I had the opportunity to sit, you know, in the Senate building, and it is a miracle that any of those old men can get any voting done without being counted as absentee or abstaining, because those seats are so doggone comfortable. I would imagine about maybe 25, about half the damn state's asleep during the, you know, it makes you, if you ever wonder why some of the craziest stuff gets passed, it's because the fuckers are sleeping. That's all I'm saying, you know. But no, like this film,
From the beginning.
oh my gosh. All right, where do we? Okay, so I should I even put I guess fuck spoiler warnings. Like, you know, because some people give their whole, like, general analysis of how the film made them feel, and then they go into the whole, but whatever. We're just going to go into, like, everything's jumbled up. So, I have to say, going into it, it felt, at first I felt like, I mean, are they rushing this a bit? You know, we were already set up for the fact that the Emperor was in the film from the trailer, but it just felt like, you know, I mean, one way of looking at it is the film wastes no time. It's like Kylo Ren goes marching on down the hallway to his, you know, to his new boss, and he's like, I want a raise. That's not quite what happens, but
the movie starts out with Kylo Ren walking up to his boss's office. Who do I talk to for PTO? I need to get more money. Okay, so from what I saw from the movie, okay, the last one, you know,
I mean, so this was head and shoulders better than Star Wars Ain't No More Jedi, right? Now, half of Ain't No More Jedi was pretty good. The other half, we don't want to talk about that other half, but half of it was pretty good. But this was better than the half that was good of the last one.
It did seem a little rushed, like you said. I feel like they try to add a lot to the story, and some of the, I mean, I'll get into it later, but some of the climatic scenes just kind of fell off without really that big old, like, whoosh, that like, for example, Endgame gave you.
Yeah, it was 70%. It was like 70% reveals, right? Like, it was like, oh, here's this reveal, here's this reveal. Little did you know. And you know what I will say is that a lot of it was tell as opposed to show. And you know, sometimes in science fiction and fantasy that can be done to a project's to a project's success, and sometimes it can be done to a project's detriment. You know, like Game of Thrones, they have entire, you know, soliloquies, not dialogue, soliloquies between two characters discussing the history of the world, and you don't get bored at all because, you know, the performances are so magnetic, and there's usually, especially in the first 2 or 3 seasons, you know, these explanations take place in a brothel, so there's like naked women dancing around. So even if you're not a nerd like me who really get into it, would be like, oh, Sir Dondarrion of the Bold stabbed the dragon 6 times, and if you're not really into that stuff, you can just oogle the women and kind of check in later and be like, oh, it works. but you know, with this, they just kind of like cram so much at you, and you were just supposed to accept it. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's where we're going. That's where we're going, but that's fine. That's okay because they did a lot good. I'll say one thing. I think that this film went out of its way to undo a lot of things that worked in the previous film, specifically. And this people are going to probably fight me on this because there's a part of me that understands the beauty of everything going full circle and why it's called Rise of Skywalker and how that works. But I think there was something charming about Rey coming from nothing, having no lineage, just being the average, ordinary Jill, because she ain't no Joe, and you know, becoming this special, unique person just out of the ether, as opposed to her being like somehow tied to one of these classic characters through a family bloodline. I feel like that kind of ruined a really, really great sentiment in the last film. Not to say that it's a bad sentiment, but just the other one was so fresh. It's like, oh, really? Just a little old nobody is about to be the savior of everyone, and this film says, nope, she's actually...
You gotta be connected.
You know?
That's what I hated about it. It's like, nah, dog, you think you're gonna be someone special, you gotta be connected, and this motherfucker to somebody powerful. Like, that's what I liked about it too, and that little thing that she's related to Palpatine left me with a very generic film aftertaste.
And it wasn't believable because I'm like, hold on. Who is going to fuck Palpatine?
Over here smacking cheeks, boy.
Palpatine has been looking like somebody's grandfather since the New Republic. What the fuck?
Give me
That's us. You will give them for that Palpatine. That's us. I demand that.
So just to clarify, folks, like they reveal that Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine.
Palpatine was smacking cheeks, boy.
And I'm like, that's unbelievable. Ain't nobody.
So was Yoda.
Nope. Oh my God.
Oh shit, Yoda was clapping cheeks too, dog. That's the greatest thing about the Mandalorian. Fucking Yoda smashed.
I still say that's a clone.
Oh my God, I wish is that he actually smashed and had a baby. Anyways, back to Star Wars.
I mean, real talk. Men can continue to have children long into their old age, unlike women, which is why you see some of these rich old guys, you know, banging girls in their 20s. Be like, looking like Trump. Well, yeah, sure, Donald Trump. But I was gonna say, I saw a guy once in a friggin' elevator over at the Metreon. He looked like the spinning image of Clint Eastwood, and I was just, you know, white hair and all. And I looked at him, and then I looked at this young lady that was with him, and I thought, wow, look at that. He's taking his granddaughter out to the movies. He's so sweet. And then they started making out, and I was like, oh, never mind.
So the big plot twist here, Kylo Ren's bitch ass turns good, and it's all because of his mom dying. Like, dude, you killed your dad in the first film. You expecting to think that your mom dying is gonna make you good? That's where it kind of lost me, dude.
You know, it wasn't the fact that she died. It's the fact that she reached out. She had a legitimate connection with him. And
spiritual Wi-Fi shit.
Yeah, spiritual Wi-Fi shit. And you know, there wasn't a whole lot of discussion between them because, you know, I suspect the reason being because Carrie Fisher died. I don't think she finished filming everything she was supposed to film.
Right.
So they worked with what they had. And I think that's what they planned going in when they first started filming this movie. Hey, you know, like, we're going to have this big scene where she talks him out of being an asshole as she spends the last of her energy. And we'll film that, you know, in the next couple of... Oh, shit, she's dead. Well, we'll have Lupita Nyong'o's character. She'll be all like, this could be the last energy she has to reach her son. You know what I mean? Which kind of ties into the way Luke died in the previous one. It's implied but never stated that maybe he used the last bit of his strength to, you know, make a force projection to help them out. Like, maybe that taxed him too much. Maybe this is a similar situation. You know?
I want to add to that. I mean, I can see how they rushed some of those scenes because she died. Like, it just didn't seem like it tied well with the story, what they had planned. Overall, though, man, like, as a film, I would recommend to go see it while it's in theaters. It's a fun film to see in theaters, especially in this, like, first weekend buzz that it has going on. For me, personally, I don't think I'll see it again other than in theaters, especially with the kind of crowd that we had, everybody cheering and shit. That's the kind of film I think it is. Aside from that, I really don't see myself seeing this at home.
You know, honestly, I gotta say, the last tentpole movie I saw was Terminator. And you know you have something good when an entire crowd is reacting in unison. They didn't do that for Terminator. Like, you know, when they dropped the "I'll be back" line for the 14th millionth time, they were just kind of like, Well, with this film, people clapped. With this film, people, you know, there were in-jokes and references that people really celebrated. It was good. It's a good experience to see with your fellow Star Wars fans. You know.
You went to see the new Terminator movie?
Dark Fate? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I saw it with good company, so, you know. It was better than 3. That's not... There are plenty of movies that are better than 3.
I was just about to say.
I don't know if y'all heard, but Phil was just like, it was better than 3.
And 5.
And 5. I didn't see 5, but I'll take Phil's word for it.
It's fucking spooky as shit.
But we
driving to Raccoon.
like you guys can't see this, but we're driving as we're creating this episode of the podcast, and it looks like we could easily film an episode of Frost and Mini Fears out here.
The fog is really, really ridiculous over here right now, but you know, for Star Wars, man, I feel like it's been a long time coming for like this kind of saga, because you know the trilogy that came before this, you know, left a lot of people yearning for something else, and you know, yearning for proper conclusions. I think the A New Hope, you know, that was cool. Rise of the Skywalker, like that was a fitting conclusion. I always kind of look at the middle one as though, you know what I'm saying, as like the bastard child, right? But hey, man, overall it's a fitting thing. And with The Mandalorian, which I've actually been able to check a couple episodes, I know you guys are more ahead than I am on that. It's like basically another movie in itself, and it's fleshing things out. I like the little connections that I've seen between The Mandalorian and the movie at the end, you know, with the ship and everything. I thought that was dope. I thought that was a dope callback. So, you know, I like what they're doing. Hopefully, even though this is like supposedly the last entry in the main series, that they continue to flesh out the universe, because there's, you know, potential for great stories to be told.
I mean.
Hold on, Phil's gonna talk.
So here's the thing. The guy with the weird face. So here's the thing, though. Like,
Homie Stroke is talking.
The thing that I think they fell short with is, you know, this is like, you know, the end of this chapter, the end of this trilogy, and, you know, there's supposed to be all this emotional weight because these characters are going their separate ways, and, you know, we're never going to see these characters together again. But at the end of Ain't No More Jedi, they just met. Like, Poe just met Rey at the very end of the last movie. So we don't even really have that.
Oh, you mean
Poe Dameron? Because he didn't know Rey. He didn't meet Rey in Force Awakens, and he didn't meet her until the very end of Ain't No More Jedi, when she showed up to the Salt Planet to rescue them. So he just met her like 5 minutes before the last movie ended, and now we're supposed to be sad that the family's broken up, and I'm like, the family just met. You know, so that's the thing. And like, they didn't really explain how the Emperor came back. I guess we're just supposed to assume he didn't die when he got thrown down that bottomless pit. So, alright, whatever.
How did that happen?
Whatever. Alright.
That bitch ass Darth Vader thrown into shit to him. No, it's just, yeah.
I think it was clones. I think he was cloned by like Sith faithful. That's what I think.
He's not done. He's not done.
So, like, I mean, Luke suffered a fall from a bottomless pit in Empire. I'm just picturing Palpatine, like, hanging off or something like, that all you got, Vader? You bitch ass, that's all you got? Because according to this movie, that's kind of what happened.
Vader fucking threw him softly on purpose. You know what? I'm sorry, boss. I gotta look good in front of my kid.
You know, and I mean, if anybody was hoping to get like more backstory or revelation about Snoke, I'm sorry, you're gonna be disappointed. Ain't nobody give a fuck about Snoke.
Dude, that character was shit. It was yeah. He said he created him. It's kind of like, remember in Avengers, what is it? The one with the robot, right? The Age of Ultron, where they had a scene in there that they had to cut off, where supposedly Ultron was being controlled by Loki because they didn't want to have Loki again as a villain, and they didn't add that scene, which is great because Ultron was his own thing. But this motherfuckers, they just you know, it's been the same guy from the very beginning. It was the CIA, it wasn't Osama.
You know, and like, one of the big plot threads of this trilogy is, you know, who is Rey, who's Rey's family, what's her lineage. She's awfully force sensitive for someone with no midichlorians. What's going on here? You know, and I remember when like The Force Wakes Up came out, like, everybody was just like, is she a Kenobi? Is she a Skywalker? You know, and that's been like the whole thread is who she is. And then it Ain't No More Jedi, oh, she nothing. Your family ain't nothing. And then here we find out, well, nothing is kind of code word for Palpatine. She a Palpatine. Whoops, she's a Palpatine. But then at the end, she takes the name Skywalker, and it felt kind of like the ending of How I Met Your Mother, where everybody wanted him to get together with Robin, even though it didn't make no sense for him to get together with Robin, and so they killed off the mom and hooked Ted up with the mom with Robin anyway.
That was a good fucking ending, though. Dude.
No, the How I Met Your Mother ending sucked. That ending, we gonna have to. That's a separate conversation.
You think Robin and fucking Barney were? You think Robin and Barney were good together?
I mean,
if that's the case, you could drop me off right here.
You can't. The whole season before that was about Robin getting over Ted and Ted getting ready to meet the mom, right? And then as soon as he hooks up with the mom, they fucking kill her ass off with cancer and ship him and Robin, which nobody asked for. I'm sorry. I ain't Team Blue French Horn. I'm Team Yellow Umbrella.
Dude, the whole point of the fucking show was for him to convince his kids of why it was a good idea for him to get with the fucking to get back with Robin. Like, she already dead. They already know she's dead. He's trying to convince the kids like why he loves her and like why he should be with her, and that's a perfect conclusion.
Nobody.
Fuck the Yellow Umbrella. The Yellow Umbrella wanted to be around. Don't get sick and die.
Nobody asked for that. Just like nobody asked for Rachel and Joey to start dating in the last season of Friends. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. If you want to go there, we'll go there.
If Joey and Rachel would have never happened if Ross wasn't banging the only it was the only black person in this show.
Yeah, they had to introduce one at some point. Affirmative action. So,
anyways,
they had to make a black friend sooner.
How do we turn this back into fucking Star Wars? Let me hand this mic over to Star Wars.
Is the mic still on? All right, mic is on. So apologize for the auditory detour, ladies and gentlemen. But back to Star Wars, and I know that there was a comparison being made, but we kind of went too deep into the comparison. I'm notorious for doing that. Like, I'll be making some sort of comparison, and I'll just go all into plot points no one asked for. It's fine. I have not seen How I Met Your Mother. I have no opinion or comment on it. Hashtag Friends is classic. Anyway, so
Martin, all these other ones, I'll be right there with you, man. Right there with you. I've never watched Friends.
You've never seen Friends?
Never seen Friends, ever.
Wow.
Never watched that.
I mean, even I've seen a couple of episodes.
Never.
Huh. Well, it's if you didn't catch it while it was running, it's not necessary to see it now, because we've had there. I have heard it said that like shows like How I Met Your Mother and like The New Girl have actually taken the Friends concept into the modern era and actually run laps around it.
I've watched a few,
but
I've only seen the first.
Can I say something?
The first season of New Girl.
You know what? I say this. I would recommend you watch Friends, Evan, and I'll say why. It's because there's a lot of jokes and themes on the episodes that are back in the 90s. So a lot of these jokes are, made sense back in the early 90s. And to watch that shit again, to watch it, you kind of time travel into when we were younger,
Yeah, it's nostalgic. It takes you back to when you could work as a waitress and still pay rent.
In Manhattan.
Damn. What a time that must have been. What a time that must have been.
So back to Star Wars, though.
The thing we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That war and the stars.
So, I'm under the impression that the Emperor survived one of two ways. He mentions something about force powers, and he studied under, as the terrible prequels let us know, Palpatine studied under, they're still arguing over the damn Yellow Umbrella and the mom. So, like I was saying, Palpatine studied under Darth Plagueis, who could actually create life, right? He could bring people back from the dead, or at least that's what he told Anakin. So I'm thinking that Plagueis could actually bring people back from the dead, and Palpatine was, as a Force ghost, sort of was able to resurrect himself.
That makes sense. I think that makes sense.
My other theory is that the Sith faithful took his DNA and cloned him.
That could be too. I mean, those are both reasonable, but I think the first one's more likely, probably.
I mean, in the expanded universe, in like the novels and stuff, there's a point where they reveal that Palpatine has a clone running around, so I'm like, why not? And he clearly has clones of Snoke sitting in his lab, all creepy as fuck.
Snoke was never real, though, right? That's what this movie implied. Snoke was never even like a real thing. He was just like fucking a puppet created by Palpatine.
Oh, you mean like, so what we were looking there was like biological Muppet parts?
I mean, that's what he kind of said. Like, that was just his creation. It was it was Palpatine's Ultron.
But was he a robot, or was he like a genetically modified organism or something?
I didn't ask. No, I'm just kidding.
Or
They didn't clarify that part. They didn't clarify.
They leave you without any. Yeah, they don't give you much to, like, you know, I don't know, to explain. They don't explain that part. Where that's the kind of what, I don't know. That's one of the things I kind of didn't like about it. You're left without some information that would. I mean, it's a movie. I get it, but it's like, I need closure.
I'm not gonna lie. Before I saw the Snoke body parts in the laboratory containment units, I was thinking when he said he made Snoke that he trained Snoke and he built him up from nothing. And then when they reveal like the body parts, I'm like, oh, you mean literally?
We made Snoke. I made him, dog. Like, for real.
I was like, oh, okay. Like,
what I did enjoy seeing Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, because this is really like the last, and what was his name? Lando Calrissian, Billy D, because this is the last time you're gonna see these characters well, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of these motherfuckers are gonna start dying. Carrie Fisher, exactly. Like, I think this is like, in a way, like the Irishman of Star Wars. Like, you're not going to see these characters again together in a film portraying, not these characters, these actors portraying these characters again in a film this huge. I mean, that's a beautiful thing to see. Like, the people in the 70s watching these movies must have had, like, just, tears in their eyes, especially growing up watching them all these years.
Yeah, and in that way, I think that's why I said it was probably like the most proper send-off. Just the energy in the theater at the end of the movie was like, yo, everybody was very happy with it. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that the people who were fans of the franchise for a long time, that they were satisfied for the most part. But like what you guys said, plot points matter, right? In between the movie, even though I didn't get to check out the between parts, right? But they matter. And so for somebody, when you're satisfied, yeah, no, for real. But then when you're satisfied with the plot points that tie together, and especially with a franchise like this has been around for how long now, like 40 years? Yeah, so you're about 40, 50 years in, right? So that's crazy. But I think for fans of the franchise, I think, when everybody walked out, a lot of, everybody was very happy with it. And I think that's the most important part with a movie, right? Especially a movie of this kind of magnitude. Yeah. If you're happy with the outcome, if you feel good about what you just watched, then it's a good movie.
I mean, it's interesting to say that there are people who have died during the span of this franchise, who have seen the original films, possibly even the day it opened, and haven't lived to see this movie.
Yeah, that's trippy.
That is a trip.
That's trippy.
I gotta say, Luke Skywalker coming in and saying, yo, I was wrong. And I'm like, well, I mean, I thought it was kind of refreshing that he was like this embittered person because of the way things went down with his nephew and feeling like he was a failure. But then again, he can realize the error of his ways. You know, I was like, do we need a full reversal? Yeah, I guess we do. That's the only way you were going to get Mark Hamill to come back, honestly, because he was on record saying that he didn't like the direction his character went. Yeah. He was like, my character's, you know, Luke Skywalker's optimistic. He isn't a pessimist at heart. That's not who he is. And he hated that, but he kept his mouth shut till after the movie came out.
Jack.
Yeah, I like that you can have a change of heart even if you are in heaven or wherever the fuck he is. But overall, I mean, I say go see it. It was a great film to especially in theaters to experience. I hope they leave it alone for a while until they could come up with something fresh and what's the word I'm looking for? Something that's not connected to any of these characters. I mean, The Mandalorian is a good example of that, and you know, Rogue One. Well, just something that's not attached to this all the way. It just because with this send off, it's the final like mic drop. Like, all right, this whole storyline, we're done. That's my final word.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think that going forward, they're going to have to come up with some sort. If they're going to have mainline movies, they're going to have brand new stories. I mean, how do you even tell a story with Jedi and Sith in it after this? I don't think you can. I think they're just going to be telling these epic stories in a sci-fi world inspired by, you know, World War II, you know, tanks and artillery and stuff, and that's great, and that's a huge part of Star Wars right there. You don't need the lightsabers to go being tossed around. I don't know, but it was all in all. Let's pass it to Evan one more time. I think we'll give it ratings after that too. Let's rate it like
I ain't rating nothing, but like, but
oh no, okay.
But I will, you know, I will say this though.
We should have a 1 out of 10 rating.
Boom. I think that overall, like I said before, if you're a Star Wars fan, you can be able, because I think some people, the purists, will find certain things, like even the things that we were talking about with Palpatine and Rey and all those things. Some people, you know, who are purists of the franchise and of the series, they'll find little holes in in that story there. But it's overall, like I said, that's probably the best send off you could have gotten. For you know what I mean, for Star Wars, like the big time scenes, the big time battles, the last one with Palpatine where he was crushing everything and making the ships crash and doing all that. It was a good visual. Rey coming back and, you know, saving the day, doing her thing. It was a good send off for what they could have did with The Last Jedi. There's, like Phil said, there's no more Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Like it was solid. So hope everybody enjoyed it. Phil.
Can you feel me?
I mean, I don't want to say the JJ trilogy because he didn't do the second one, but of this new trilogy, it's probably the most satisfying. You know, I would go that far. It's probably the most satisfying. A lot of beats felt similar to Return of the Jedi, but it's very satisfying. Might be the best of the new trilogy. Yeah, I think that's probably the best of the new trilogy. Team Yellow Umbrella. How about you?
I definitely, yeah, I say it's the best. I mean, The Force Awakens is good. Yeah, I mean, that was a good. It was a good beginning to the film. Yeah, this was the best one. I agree. On a voice party 1 out of 10, I give it a 7, a solid 7.
I love redemption stories. And this is 100% a redemption story for Ben Solo. And I also love proper send-offs to huge fandoms. This film definitely accomplished those things. Is it a perfect film? Nah, no, it's not. Do I like it more than The Force Awakens? I don't know if I like it more. I think I may like them equally. I definitely like this one more than the second one. You know, second one had that whole deviation in the casino and
Plot about running out of gas.
plot about running out of gas. And I don't mind the casino plot. I actually thought it was really cool to see a portion of the universe that was not concerned with the war. It's like how this slice of life. That's why I like Mandalorian. You know, we kind of get to see more of these beings just doing what they do.
That space EDC that they showed.
The
space EDC, Space Burning Man.
Oh yeah, there's a festival in the film the early on where they go out to this desert world and they're just having the grandest of art parties. But what I was gonna. Oh yeah, it was great. We probably haven't talked nearly enough about the details of this movie, but that's okay because we're at our true, but we're at our destination now, so it's like we can't really go on too long. But I would say I think I liked it just as much as the first one. The second one had the casino thing actually mattered to the overall plot in some way, that it would have been much stronger as a story. And the gas thing was indeed silly. They could have just taken the gas out of all the pods and fueled the main ship. Well, I guess maybe it depends on the fuel rate of the smaller ones, and would there have been enough fuel in each one to I don't even know how their ship's fuel works. Oh my goodness. Maybe the fuel is different depending on the craft. Who knows?
It's funny. It's fucked up.
What was funny was...
How he changed Casper's title card.
Oh, yeah. Gasper's busy. You know, Gasper's... But no.
He's acting on the stage play, though.
I would say overall, my initial reaction... I'd give it a strong 7 out of 10 pieces of confetti right there. 7 out of 10. I mean, it's a party. Throw confetti at a party.
7 out of 10. That's exactly what I gave it.
I mean, I couldn't go lower than 7. I also couldn't go higher than 7. If you want to know... Yeah, same here. I mean, if you want to know what my metric is for these tentpole movies, Endgame was 11 out of 10.
You know what? I didn't like the way the villain... You didn't get enough to hate the villain enough to watch him die, and he didn't die the way that you would have wanted him to die.
Oh, what, in Endgame?
No, here.
Oh, here. You knew who Palpatine was from
dude,
They spent 3 whole movies trying to kill that dude.
Yeah, but I wanted to see. I mean, we just got a little taste of him in the last movie, and in this one, you rarely really saw him.
I will say,
there's not enough bite to chew on to hate him. See him die and fuck yeah, like Thanos. Like when you saw Thanos disappear, that's what you get, you fucking angry bitch, you know. Like with this guy, I know he's evil, you know. And I know he okay, all right. This has been your plan all along, but I needed to marinate in my hate towards him, in order to be satisfied with his demise, and I didn't feel that.
You know, I'll throw this.
You're a hateful person, dude.
No, dude. Your points are valid because, like I said, this movie wasn't perfect, and sometimes I don't think about excellent points until maybe 2-3 days after I've seen the movie. So, please point out what you can.
Wait, real quick. This reminds me of the Chappelle joke of how Monica Lewinsky gave Bill Clinton head. He was just horny and he came outside the office you, and that's why we're scrambling to find an evil villain to end the film. Yeah, come here, Palpatine. Come in here, get under this desk. That's how I felt. All right, that's enough for me talking. You guys go ahead.
No, I mean, look. But what it's fine. It's totally fine. this definitely was full circle for Ray, and I will admit, you know, Phil brought up some good points about it's supposed to be the end for these characters, and you know, we're all supposed to be emotional that they'll never see each other again, but they don't have a whole lot of screen time. It is implied that they might have spent a significant amount of time off screen, but you know, it's a film. Your off screen stuff.
That does us, the viewer.
I mean, isn't there a throwaway line at some point in the movie where they're like, you know, reveal that they've known each other for a while?
Yeah, the dialogue though, dude, the dialogue of also like these space movies. I don't know, man. Like sometimes there's too much funny shit in these movies that just the way they talk to each other. It's like, you're in space, man. Why are you talking like we live in like downtown San Francisco? You know, I don't know. It's that kind of gets to me. That's in every fucking movie though. There's a little funny thing to just kind of just keep you glued to every ending of the scene. Like there was something I forgot about it now. I got so hateful when I saw it. There was a scene where somebody says something very earthly to this other dude in space. Like, dude, you're in fucking space. Right. Be in space. Talk like you're in space.
What did you do? Ask him for coffee or something? What?
I forgot what it was, dude. I just got really angry when I fucking heard it. It was something like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" Like, dude, you're in space. I'm sorry.
I don't think there's anything. I mean, look, they're in a world where being in space is normal. So it's just as like hopping on the Millennium Falcon is just as regular as walking down the street and going to your favorite coffee shop. It's Tuesday.
Like pandering to like big city people, and like I just want to be taken away from Earth. I don't know. I'm asking for too much.
I mean, if you want people to talk, you know, like they're really in a different environment, you could always watch Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna let you guys finish this episode on the road because I know this man has to work. So you guys have a good night. I'm checking out right now, but they're gonna continue the episode on the road.
I mean, we're probably gonna wrap it up because I'm taking them home next.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, I said we talking to the last of us leaves.
Yeah, he's gonna finish it himself. That's it for the voice party for me as of right now. You guys have a good night.
All right.
Good night, JD.
Take it easy, JD.
Brother. Good night.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Later. I mean, I got work in the morning too. Shit, I gotta go all the way to Piedmont. Yeah, like
On a Saturday?
Yeah, every Saturday.
What? You working on a Saturday? I heard the hell out of that.
Yeah. Mainly because they won't give me Friday hours, which they don't have. Sylvan is closed on Fridays, but somehow is comfortable with dragging kids in on Saturdays.
Yeah, that's how it be though, man. You know, whether you're comfortable or not.
But you know what? I can't even complain because it's not like there are Saturday morning cartoons anymore. You know.
Most definitely not. That's the biggest thing now. Is like all that stuff that we had, that we was exposed to, that we used to. I ain't going down like that no more. You know what I mean?
That's why these kids so damn disrespectful.
Because they don't have Saturday morning cartoons.
You ain't got Pepe Le Pew to teach them the facts of life.
Lesson.
Like sometimes you gotta just snatch the pussy when you want it.
Kiss it.
El Jefe. El Pepe. What the fuck? What the fuck?
See, this is what happens when JD's not around to supervise us. Yeah. Now we're gonna be demonetized. They're gonna kick us off the air.
Can't we go one episode without mentioning? I guess we can't. All right, this is like the voice party curse. Phil, just cut this out. It's fine.
That's the reason I don't talk.
That's all I can say to that is shit. Damn.
You know, my brother complained a lot about Finn during the original film, because he hated the way that he was treated. He was like, man, like, you know, because one of the stereotypes is that, black folks are cowards. So it's like in the first movie, what does he do all the time? He's always trying to run away from the First Order, run away from, and then there's this. He looks really, really dumb. He's in a room full of people who are professionally geared. Like this is what they do for a living: is fight the First Order, fight the Empire. You got the leader of the accompaniment was there to help overthrow the first doggone emperor, right? And this fool talking about we can just go as far as we can to the outskirts of the universe. We're never gonna make it. And it's like, I mean, we topple them all the time. This is Tuesday for us. Why are you tripping? Why are you? But I felt like with Finn, it was a lot of whole lot of unrequited love going on and yelling Rey's name. Like, he yelled Rey's name in these 3 movies more than Cyclops yelled out Jean Grey's name in the X-Men animated series in the 90s. And that boy was whipped. Jean!
That's why I had to say
Jean! I love you, Jean! It's like, I don't even think the actor that played Cyclops had to record that so much as they just simply had a button they would press. It's like, alright, we're going to need a Jean call in here. Press the button. Jean! Jean! And this is the same thing with this. Rey! Rey! Oh no, Rey! It's like you could do that with voice. I do that with voice acting all the time. Give us another one. Give us one with a different feel to it. Give us one that's more rushed. Rey! Give us one that's... Oh my gosh. That's what happens when you have one line that you're yelling out.
Hey man, but that's what happens. Like you said, it gets exhausting. It gets, a little bit kind of just tiresome, like you were saying, and with Finn, especially in the other movies, I can see what you were saying. Mm-hmm. In this one, from what I was able to see and gather, it was more of the same, but to a lesser degree.
I mean, he wasn't a flaming coward in this one.
Yeah, that's why I said to a lesser degree. He was out there trying to make his contributions. You know what I mean, and do what he had to do. So, and the only time he was really mega sensitive about Rey in this one was towards the end. Yeah. So,
I mean, he did want to have that one thing said to her, and he didn't get a chance to say it. We all know what that was.
Oh God, don't even put it on me. Tell him.
I have feelings for you, Rey. I've loved you since the moment we met. And even though every time I reach out to grab your hand and you smack it away defiantly, that just makes me love you even more. Somebody is into being tied up and beat, I guess. I think that's him.
All that good shit.
No, but seriously, I think that I always argue with my friend. It's character development. It's his journey. He's got to learn to not be so scared. He's going to get braver as the series goes on. Natural progression. And look at that, he got braver. What can I say?
Character progression, though. But it's sad that it took 3 movies to do it for that arc.
Yeah.
Because he should have kind of been doing that already, or progressing towards that. I feel like by the Last Jedi. But
oh no! Remember, he was about to sacrifice himself in the Last Jedi, but then Rose derailed it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Every time that he had some kind of point in the plot that he could have been, like a very, very important character besides the friend zone interest. You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, they kind of were able to undermine it and give it to somebody else. So his part in this one was better.
Agreed. And I'm disappointed. The one thing I'm really disappointed about in this film is that they didn't reveal that Rose was a spy.
But yet, that's what I'm saying. When you have these kind of movies that are this kind of this size, this scale, this scope, some of that stuff goes, under the radar, and unfortunately, that's one of those things. That's all good. Yeah, but overall, like I said, good experience. I think that, especially from what I was able to, gather and everything, man, great movies. Enjoy it. Go to the theater. Stay away from the recliners. So I wanted to say this was a great time. Had a good time kicking it with my bros. That's the type of movie this is. If you want to kick it with your friends, kick it with your people, kick it with people who love Star Wars, this is it. This is the one for the theater. I usually, like JD said, I usually check stuff out and wait for some things, unless they're gigantic like in-game. I usually wait till they come out on the the home theater or whatever. But this one, you most definitely gotta go out there and see. So I most definitely recommend it. And I want to shout out the Voice Party. Thank the guys for having me on. Thank them for inviting me. I'm looking forward to doing future projects with these guys. Gaspar, if you continue to be a ghost, I'm taking your spot, man. I'm just letting you know, bruh. I'm just letting you know. But most definitely, everybody enjoyed the night. Enjoyed the movie if you go out there and see it. And hit us up, Voice Party. You already know what it is. Mr. Go to Work. Yeah, let's do it.
So everyone, like, you've heard my 2 cents, my 3 cents, my 10 cents, and my 5 cents. I think it's Gaspar, if you're listening, that was a very real warning. We got somebody chopping at the bit to sit in your seat, so come back when you can. No pressure, bro, no pressure. It's all love. There'll always be a spot, knock on wood. There's no wood in here. Oh, we're all screwed. But there'll always be a spot for you, I assume. Anyway, I'm going to pass it on to Phil. Phil will end it as soon as we get past this hill.
I've been driving since I was like 16. I can drive with my eyes closed. I don't recommend it, but I can do it. But yeah, thank you for checking out the Voice Party. This was a very random episode. Hopefully the production value is fine. It's not up to our usual standards, but hopefully it's suitable because we're recording this while we're driving. Thank y'all for tuning in. Go see Star Wars. Here come the Skywalkers. You probably won't be disappointed unless you really, really, really want to know more about Snoke. So, thank you for tuning in. We'll check you guys out next time. Take it easy.